Hello everyone, Mansi Elhance here. And if you have made it till here, well, congratulations then. This is the last one for the introductory course for C programming language. And in this section, we'd be looking at the concepts of strings and structures in C. These are all the things we'd be studying in this lesson. Firstly, we'll define format specifiers, then a general introduction on strings and structures and their subparts. Let's proceed. We've actually been using format specifiers in every program, but what are these? Format specifiers are the operators used in printf function to print the data which is referred by an object or a variable. There are quite a number of format specifiers which are present in C, but I've mentioned only a few out of them. So first is %t. It is used to print an integer value. Next is %f. It is used to print a float value. Next is %c, which is used to print a single character value. Then is %s, which is used to print an array of character values. And lastly, %p, which is used to store pointer address in a pointer. And for this particular video, %s and %c format specifiers are quite essential. So moving on, let's introduce strings. So strings are nothing but arrays of characters which ends with a null character. This null character indicates the end of the string. And a key point to remember is that strings are always enclosed by double quotes and character is enclosed by single quotes in C language. This is a key point. These are declared and initialized with the help of these indexes. And you can see there are quite a few ways to initialize a string. But the difference is that let's say we declare a character as, let's say, string, and the size is 20. So 20 bytes of memory space is allocated for holding the string value. And if we declare our character string as string and we don't define the size, then memory space will be allocated as per the requirement during the execution of the program. So this is more efficient. Why? Because if we specify beforehand and we don't use it, that memory is wasted. But if we are using it efficiently, as much as it is required, then it is good. For example, this code here is a sweet, simple example. Now, for understanding the basic working of strings, it is perfect. So you can see here we are also using %s format specifier, and also for %s format specifier is used for strings and strings only. So just try executing this program. Next are the string functions. String functions are the standard library functions for strings, and string.h header file supports all the string functions in C language. And so if you want to use any of these string functions in your program, then you need to include this library positive. Here are some string functions which I have noted it down. They are the most widely used ones. First is strcat. It is used for concatenation of, let's say we have two strings, string 1 and string 2. So it will concatenate string 2 at the end of string 1. Next is strncats. strn means string. It appends a portion of string to another. Next is copy. It copies string 2 into string 1. Next is it copies given number of characters. That means if you will specify the number of characters of one string to another, it will not copy whole. It gives the length of the string. It will compare two strings. That means it will return 0 if string 1 is same as the string 2. Next is the strcmpi. It is same as the compare function, but this function negotiates case. That is, it is case sensitive. Next is strchr. It returns pointer to first occurrence of character in str1. Next is strchr. It gives the last occurrence of given character. Next is string, that is, it returns a pointer to first occurrence of string 2 and string 1. And here are a few more. Moving on now, what are structures? Structure is nothing but a group of different or same data types. But why structure? Now just think or assume that while making an application in C programming language, you may come across a place where you may have found various variables related to each other, which doesn't make sense without each other. they are dependent on each other. So however you had to store them in different two arrays as their data types were different. So to now they are dependent on each other, and you have two different data types, that is, let's say integer or character. Now for storing those variables you have to make a 2D array, but that's a headache. So to avoid such headache, we have a powerful concept in C which we call as structures. We generally use struct keyword to when while we are creating the structures, which is nothing but short form of structured data type. So let's have a look at the syntaxes for the concepts of structures. First is defining a structure. This is a syntax. Now we can also, in structures, we can either use normal variable or a pointer variable. So if we use normal or pointer, it doesn't matter, definition is almost the same. So next is, for example, in this program, next is declaration. So the declaration is, first we write the keyword, then the structure name, and then the variable name. And if we are using pointer variable, keyword, structure name, pointer name, and the variable name, because it would be required to access it. Next is initialization. While we initialize, we can the initialization is same, but as we are using pointer, so we need address to access it and to initialize it. So that's why we created this variable name here. Next is accessing. If we are using normal variable, then the element from the structure can be accessed using dot operator. Otherwise, if you are using pointer variable, the element can be accessed using arrow operator. This is an example. In this program, it is used to store and access ID, name, and percentage for one student. Now we can also store and access these type for many students using array of structure, which we'll see just in a second. That is an array of structures. So what is an array of structure? We can declare an array of structure, and each element of the array represents a structure variable. It is for your own ease and for your own convenience. So how to declare them? First you need to define the keyword struct, then the structure name, then the array name, and then the size. This is a sample example. Next are nested structures. A structure can be passed inside a structure. That means the phenomena of creating a structure inside a structure is called as nesting of structures. This is a sample program. Yeah, it's just like structure. We have defined it, and then we have created a structure inside this particular structure only. Next are structure can be passed to any function from main function or from any sub functions. Structure definition will be available within the function only. That is the concept of structures as function arguments. When we pass a structure as function argument, it won't be available to other functions unless it is passed to those functions by value or by reference or the address. Else we have to declare the structure variable as global variable. That means structure variable should be declared outside the main function. So this structure will be visible to all the functions in a C program. There are three ways to do this. First is either you pass the structure to a function by the value method, or by the, and the second is by the address method, or third is no need to pass a structure, just declare the structure variable as global. And now in this sample program, we can pass a structure as function argument in similar way as we can pass any other variable or array. Just try executing this program too. That was all about the basic introduction to C language. Thank you for watching, and do rate and recommend this course. Thank you.